Hi and hello. My name is Harkheindzel Omiyale. I am a development and empowerment strategist, and I'm also the spirit mentalist. You're welcome to the Crystallizes, where we will show you how to master the art of creating substance out of nothingness. We've been having a series of sessions where we talked about different laws, different principles. Now we're going to take it a bit further by trying to unveil unto us what I choose to call the powers to crystallize. It is very important and necessary for us to understand that nothing can be created without understanding power. And truthfully, nothing can be destroyed without understanding power. Or choose to stick with the powers of creation. It is not time to venture into that which destroys. But before we go into all of that story, I would like to start with a little introduction. And here goes. You see, there is a difference between faith and emotions. But as clearly as that is, many people still get confused. And why is that? Because of the power of emotions. You see, it's difficult to make emotional and logical choices at the same time. It also means that it's difficult to operate in faith while listening to emotions at the same time. I believe we all know that faith is the logic of God. And it's important to know that. The thing is that the moment you get a revelation from God or anything out of the ordinary, it comes with the mechanisms of revelation, and usually it's interpreted with a lot of emotions, which we call passion. At the instance of that revelation, all you are overwhelmed with is the emotion and passion of the possibilities of that message, of that vision, of that prophecy, of that instruction, whatever it is that you got. Now, it is that feeling that can cause a problem for you. And why is that? Because once you see a vision, you have huge emotions associated with it, most of the time. Now, it's an emotion of blessedness and the epiphany of great things that are in store for you. But here's the catch. That feeling can be your undoing if you don't know how to transpose it correctly. So when time passes and the emotion fades, you begin to see the challenges of that word you got. It suddenly begins to look tasking and daunting and difficult. And if you dwell long enough on that, it could look impossible and frustrating. But don't let that happen to you. Great men are falling as a result of that. It is necessary and important to learn to stick to the right things, wherewith the power of creation is forged. And that's one of the things we're trying to help you to understand in the Crystallizes. Alright, so let's just get it started all the same. The best time to begin to move with a prophetic word, a spiritual word, is right when that word was spoken to you. Why? Because that is the time of the highest energy. And you can invest that energy into building structures and systems that will guarantee your building or your crystallizing of that which you are born to create. But here's the truth, a hard truth. Now, seeing or getting a revelation about you doesn't automate it to happen in your life. What this means is that you can see yourself reaching the world and being rich and wealthy and fulfilling purpose, but it doesn't make it automatic that you will fulfill that vision you have seen. This is where people miss it and they blame God for it. We are not to blame God, because God is not to blame. It is our ignorance that brings us into such predicaments and such situations. And we must learn to live above that. Crystallizing is not easy. It is difficult, but you must choose which part of life and history you want to be in. Is it the part of those who gave everything to live the life of their preordination, or those who lived in the prison of hope and the bondage of sin, in the comfort of ignorance, and in the quagmire of oblivion? There is more to us than that. There is more to life than just getting by. There are deeper things. There are higher things. There are mountains to climb. There are seas to sojourn. There are dark places to enlighten. But are you bold enough? Are you courageous enough? Are you faithful enough to take all of that risk and give it all to it? Now, when we're talking about the powers to crystallize, English is a very diluted word. So I'll choose to hang out with the Greek tonight because it really helps us to understand things from a better light. In the Greek language, power has different meanings, and that would really help us to understand what we're talking about tonight, this period. The four words for power in Greek are dynamis, energia, ischus, and kratos. So what all this jargon mean, some of you might ask? There is another one also which is called exousia. It's called authority. It's going to come in handy sometime very soon. So let's talk about these powers. I'm going through the pain of explanation because these are going to be very instrumental and important for you. And I cannot overemphasize its importance. I'm sure you'll see that before we get to the end of all that is before us. But it takes time, it takes energy, it takes will for us to build and crystallize that which we are born to be. So dynamis is inherent power, it's ability, it's potential power. It's always in potential form. It is the power that comes as a result of awareness, a power that comes as a result of information or revelation. The thing about this power is that you cannot use it the way it is. But it's from it that every other power comes from. Let's talk about energia. Energia typically means energy. It's the outward display of power. We can call it capacity. This is usually energy in its raw form, power in its raw form. Now, this kind of power needs to be contained and structured and given codes and programs to work with. Because if all you have is energia, you will destroy yourself. Going to ischus. Ischus is endowed power. It's kind of like the power that a king has by reason of his domain and his authority. We can call this capacity. It is a power with a lead. It has limits, it has height, it has levels. And let's go to kratos. It's a beautiful power. Kratos is ruling power, it is dominion, it's operational power, it's physical power, the application of all the other forms of power. Now, in the book of Genesis, when the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the deep, that was dynamis. When God spoke light to being, that was energia. When he spoke the sun, the moon, the stars, and the animals to being, that was ischus. When he blessed man, he gave him kratos. And that is very important. Now, dynamis is like a fully charged battery. It has the power to run everything. But you must know how to plug it into what you need. Else, you keep looking at the full battery, but you will not be able to power your life. Energia is energy, like I said, is the outward display of power. So it is manifested power. But this kind of power is raw and can sometimes be volatile. For example, there are some times when you pray and you get to a level your voice becomes louder speaker, you seems you have this authority. You can feel the raw power. That is energia. The truth of the matter is that you think you might be doing a lot with it, but if you don't know how to contain and instruct energia, it's going to be useless. Iskus, like I said before, is capacity. It's a control and limit to power. For example, in Iskus, it's like you have a 60 watt bulb and a 200 watt bulb. They both have different power ratings, and so they have different capacities and different things they can do. Iskus is what I call strategic power. It is measured power. It means you must know what you want in order to use the power before you can assign that power to work. It also means you need to generate the adequate level of power for the work you wanted to perform. That's capacity. It takes a different level of issues to run a nation, and it takes a lower level of issues to become a class captain. Now that is issues to you. It is also important and it has its places. It is for you to know what place and what power you have. Kratos is operational power. It's effective power. It is power that makes change. It is power to control, power to influence. This is the power that makes tangible results. It is the power of action. This is the power that gets job done. But the truth is, it doesn't work in isolation. All of this power never work in isolation. Many of us, Kratos is what we're looking for. But of what use is Kratos if you don't know what it can do? If you don't know the limit or how efficient, if you can't feel it or you're not even aware of it. This is where everything is connected and you must feel it. It's just the same way creation happens on different levels. Power also comes through different means till it gets to the end point. It is this power that you must understand before crystallization can occur. If you do not have it, you will leave. You will spend time, but you won't really be able to do anything useful with it. And this is what we must need, the right mix of power. That is what gets the job done. So it's all about coming into the awareness of the powers that be. Coming into the awareness of that which you were born to do, you were born to live. This session is more like an awareness session. The truth of the matter is that to really understand all of this, you must have contact with all of these powers. With dunamis, that spiritual knowledge, that revelation. With energia, that feeling of vibrancy and volatility of the energy and power of iskus. Knowing that you need to grow in that energy. That to achieve more in life, you need more power. And Kratos, knowing how to put that power to work and making it work for you. So fundamentally, for you to be a master crystallizer, you must understand these 4 effects of power and know how to encounter them. And the secret, know how to produce them. Power cannot be generated or destroyed, but usually it's transformed from one form to another. So the secret really is for you to know what form power is and how to transform it to other forms. And that is what I will teach you in the next session. So the next time we meet, my name is Harkheindzel Omiyale, and this is the Crystallizers. I hope you create the kind of life you were born and destined to rule. Have a great day.